which AirPods should you buy? So to start off, the AirPods Pro are currently $199 on Amazon, and then the AirPods first generation are $119 or $149 if you want the first or second generation AirPods. So starting off with the case design of the AirPods cases, they're actually very similar. This one is just longer horizontally, and then this one is just longer vertically. So they are pretty much the same size. Both of them, the AirPods do charge inside of the case, so you don't have to worry about that. There's also the charging port on the bottom, and they use that lightning to USB or USB-C cable. In both cases, the AirPods, once they're in there, they kind of like snap into the case, and you have that little magnet in there that actually makes them sit and stay put in the case. The only other difference in between these cases, aside from the size of them, is really just the fact that the charging light is on the front of the AirPods Pro case, and then on the first generation AirPods, it is on the inside. But if you do have the second generation wireless charging ones, it would be on the outside. So next, in terms of the AirPod design, this is where a lot of the differences come in. But with the AirPods Pro, as you can see, we have a much shorter stem on the AirPods, and then we also have ear tips. So the first generation AirPods have a longer stem, and they also do not have any ear tips. So it's really just one size fits all. We all know it really doesn't work like that. And then even more than that, with the stems on the AirPod Pro, the actual stems of them are where it's touch sensitive. So that's where you're going to be able to do all of your audio controls. But then to do the audio controls on the first or second generation AirPods, you have to actually touch and tap the actual AirPod, and you wouldn't touch the stem. So since we're talking about the audio controls, I actually prefer the audio controls on the AirPods Pro versus the regular first or second generation AirPods. And that's mainly because to be able to trigger those audio controls, you actually have to squeeze the stem. But then on the regular AirPods, you have to set them as settings inside your phone. So you can only have 2 different audio controls per AirPods because you only have 2 AirPods. But with this one, you can use either AirPod to play, pause, skip a track. And then you can also utilize Siri as well as adjust the noise cancellation on the AirPods. On either one, you don't have to change the settings on them. So really, even more than the fact that the first generation, second generation AirPods have limited audio controls, I actually still prefer the AirPods Pro audio controls because you can't easily trigger any of the audio controls that you've set. With the AirPods, when I had these before, I would trigger Siri all the time on accident just because they are touch sensitive. So next, between the 2 AirPods, I would say that the biggest difference really sits in the audio quality. So honestly, in this case, you actually get what you pay for. If you've ever listened to an AirPods Pro and then you listen to a regular AirPods, just one right after the other, you'll notice a huge difference in the audio quality, in my opinion. Of course, these come with noise cancellation, which really kind of truly sets it apart. Along with noise cancellation, these also have spatial audio, which basically just kind of makes it sound like surround sound, and the first and second generation AirPods do not have that spatial audio feature. So next, I want to discuss the battery life. Overall, in general, with just AirPods, they have a fantastic battery life. So I got my AirPods Pro during quarantine, during this panorama. So I haven't really been using them as much as I used my original first generation AirPods, but I quite literally, I think I charge these maybe once a month. I really do not charge them often at all. They hold their charge super well. When I was going out and about and actually listening to music on the regular, I would say that I had to charge my AirPods probably every couple days. But even more than that, these things charge really fast. So that isn't really an issue. So just reading off a couple of stats from the Apple website, the AirPods Pro actually have 4.5 hours of playback time. So you can listen with these for 4.5 hours before you have to charge them. And then if you want to be talking on the phone with them, then they have 3 hours of talking time. For the regular AirPods, it's actually a little better. So these ones have 5 hours of playback time, and then they have 3 hours of talking time. And I would say that it's actually pretty accurate. And then if either of these do die on you, with the AirPods Pro, if you put them in your charging case for 5 minutes, then you'll have 1 hour of talking or listening time. And then if you put the regular AirPods in their charging case for 15 minutes, you'll have 3 hours of listening time or 2 hours of talking time. The last thing on charging, if you do choose to go for the first generation AirPods, these ones are actually not wireless charging. So only the second generation AirPods are wireless charging, and then the AirPods Pro are wireless charging. So the next thing I want to talk about is if they are waterproof. So neither of these AirPods are actually waterproof, which I mean makes sense, but the AirPods Pro are water resistant, and there are some gray that they have to get, but they are water resistant to pretty much sweat and just like, you know, tiny moisture, but they aren't like, if you submerge them in water, you're your AirPods are gonna be wrecked. But these ones, none of that. They don't have any grade or anything where basically it says it's water resistant. Nope. And I'm actually pretty sure that's what ruined my first generation AirPods. I think that because, kind of gross, I sweat so much when I worked out, or still do work out, but when I worked out with them, I think it really ruined the AirPod, and basically just so much water got in there, and I ended up having to replace my AirPods like 3 or 4 times. So lastly, the last thing I want to talk about, which is something that I feel like I've pretty much talked about in every single one of my videos, because it's what I always say, what makes me hate AirPods most: ear comfort. So this might surprise you, but I would say that the first generation or second generation AirPods are a hell of a lot more comfortable. These ones, I have literally no idea what I need to do to get them to stay in my ear, but they do not. And it's not even just like when I'm working out, it's literally just like when I'm existing and sitting up, just sitting up like this, they slip out of my ear. So even though that they do have these different ear tips, and I currently have the medium ones on, I used to have these small ones on, but then someone was like, in my comments, thank you for that tip, they told me that it's actually better to have a slightly larger tip because it will have a better like suction basically in your ear. So I have the medium tips on here and it's a little bit better, but these, I can barely work out in these because of how much they slip out. If you have AirPods Pro and they were slipping out of your ears for some time, please, for the love of God, let me know what you did to actually improve them. But I really find that the regular first generation AirPods are a lot more comfortable. And for me, even though in my original video where I really ragged on these, I said that they slip out of my ear, they do, or they did rather, slip out of my ear, but these ones can't even stay in my ear at all. Finally, what is my overall consensus about which pair of AirPods you should get? It depends. I would say it depends on, firstly, if AirPods Pro fit your ears correctly. If you put them in your ear and they don't slip out and it's like everything is amazing, you're able to like dance around them, work on them, whatever, get these. If these stay in your ear, chef's kiss, amazing. I love everything about them. I love the stems as to how you have to like squeeze and hold. I love the noise cancellation. I love the spatial audio. I love them. But they don't stay in my ears. If you try those on and they don't stay in your ears, then I would just say go for some regular old AirPods. These are tried and true. You know, you don't really have to have all the bells and whistles. You don't have to have noise cancellation. You don't really need spatial audio. It's just kind of there for something that's nice to have. And honestly, as you've seen through this video, there are some differences, but there's no really like big major difference aside from the noise cancellation that really would set this apart. So if you think paying $80 more for noise cancellation is worth it, go for it. Otherwise, the first and second generation AirPods are really just a great pair of basic earphones. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel, hi, my name is Adebisi. I do tech and finance videos. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments down below if you have AirPods yourself and which one you think is better, or if you were considering buying AirPods, which one do you think you're going to go with. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.